There she go.
I'm still in my little wearable blanket from Miss Nancy. I sent her a picture yesterday. I told her I feel like Baby Yoda. I love it.
It looks cute and it looks warm.
It's so warm. It's just so warm. It has a hood too. It has a hood.
It goes all the way down to the floor.
Yep. My feet and everything are covered.
Dang. A wearable blanket.
We need that.
It
so
beats the Snuggie. Huh?
It is so cold here.
Man, Lynna, y'all don't know cold. It's not cold over there. It might be middle temperature.
No, it's cold.
Well, in her house, it probably is freezing. But yeah, because she don't have insulation in her house, so that air is probably like whoosh, coming off that water.
Oh, you buy water too? Okay, never mind. All right.
But yeah, I can't complain. But of course, I don't like cold weather anyway, so I don't want to be in either one of y'all's position.
Well, either you guys gonna see me in this or a Snuggie. Either way, I'm gonna be blanketed up every time you guys see me until winter's over.
Girl,
shirt on, sweatshirt on.
I got my turtleneck on, everything. I'm still like,
Nancy say it's so cold where she's at. She's gonna come and take it back.
She can't. She needs to get her own. She sent me this one. She can't take it back.
No. Hello, everybody. Let's see. We got Papa in. Let's see. Nancy is at Kwani, Sierra, Star, Pamela. Hello. How y'all doing?
Shantia, Mary,
Kiara. Let's see.
Laura. Hello. So, you guys voted. Oh, Detroit doesn't know whether it wants to be cold or hot because in July 4th in Detroit is, oh my God, mosquitoes and sweat.
Sound like Texas.
No, it's worse than Texas. It's pretty bad. So you guys voted. So today our topic is recognizing real craft workers. So
it should be interesting, especially within the last 2-3 years. We've had like some name brand high status people that were outed, that weren't initiated. They didn't have the credentials that they said they had. They weren't taught from people that they said that they were taught from, and a lot of them weren't even doing the work. I mean, we saw several public commentaries about rituals and things that were not even done right. People that had been practicing. And then, of course, we had people with titles that were faking the funk. They were doing their own little thing. And then it kind of made me wonder, like, okay, are they branching off of their tradition and kind of adding something new? Because, I mean, we know with evolution, with practices and things like that, you add, so is it really that they weren't doing things right, or were they putting their own flair on it? Expanding from the tradition. Makes you kind of wonder with some, but then some were definitely faking the funk.
Well, there's adding your own flair, because we all got to add our own little personality to our work. But there are foundational rules.
Yeah.
And when you start breaking those rules, you start, well, I'm just going to say it, initiating people while they're on the reg, Well,
you're not supposed to, especially with certain spirits. Right.
There's foundational rules that are not meant to be broken.
Yeah, I mean, we heard some crazy stuff the last couple of years. Ceremonies where women are cut, on their vagina with razor blades.
Yeah.
And nobody could say anything that, even confirmed that was part of a ritual. And then you had other people that, were being presented in front of the spirits naked. And then it makes you wonder if these people are going into these traditions and they have no idea, because a lot of with ATRs and a lot of closed practices, even with certain witches, covens, you don't learn the ceremonies until you're in the ceremony.
You're initiated,
Exactly.
until you've crossed that threshold.
So you don't really know how the ceremony is supposed to go, because even when I consoed my first time in Haiti, I had completely no expectations because everything was secret to me. So I couldn't have told you from the start to the finish if the ceremony was done right, because to be honest, I had no knowledge of what the ceremony was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how a lot of people got taken advantage of last year, was that we heard some crazy ass shit coming out, stuff that even made me be like, okay, I don't think I would have went through the ceremony. The moment that they got the razor blade.
It started in 2019, really, where a lot of people were being outed. And that caused a lot of division because, the way they were outed, we're glad that they were outed. We're glad that people didn't give them money and then, go down this dangerous rabbit hole of spending all this money and then not being initiated or having the title that they were supposed to have. But I think when it comes to traditions where you have to be initiated, like you said, it's difficult to know because every house is different. Let's just be honest, which is why they tell you.
Oh yeah, regular mine is different in every tradition. Like you say, every house has a way.
I think even with me being eclectic, solitary, traditional witchcraft for the most part, I do a lot of my own things because we're able to do that. When you're a solitary practitioner, I'm not worried about initiating somebody or having somebody per se under me, which is why sometimes when I teach, it's difficult because a lot of the stuff is mine, because we're taught, or at least, when I was learning from people in the States, we're taught, make sure you do it on your own, because then when somebody's coming for you, you have your own flair on whatever it is that you've been doing. Mm-hmm. It's not so regimented and they can't get you as easily, right? And then, of course, the spirits, they want to know that you've studied, that you know the basic foundation of those things, but then you also have expanded and added your own, belief and faith to it as well. I think in reality, it's tougher to know false practitioners, so to say, in traditional witchcraft if they're not in a coven, because they're doing their own thing, as opposed to something that has a very strict rule base, such as an ATR. Not saying that they can't go out, but there are just certain rules that are just the rules.
Period. Well, yeah, and I think with anything, whether you do root work, conjure work, there are things that are passed down through families that a lot of people look at as traditions, even if you don't go into an ATR. Lynna grew up with, a certain blend of family knowledge that I don't have because of the environment that she grew up in versus my environment growing up, with family from Louisiana that practiced, a lot of root work, a lot of conjure work, not so much voodoo. So my take on it going into it was I didn't have anybody to, question on this particular path because a lot of my family didn't openly practice. But we all come from different environments for sure. Mm-hmm. When it comes to, moving forward, I think a lot of times the first red flag is when a practitioner is focused on money. Mm-hmm. When you're trying to learn from somebody or talking to a mentor, and the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, okay, give me $10,000. Give me this money and I'll do it. Because I get everybody needs to, have things taken care of. And of course, financially, a lot of us have taught classes where we share knowledge, but we also expect, some type of reciprocity with that. But I think a lot of times in a lot of traditions, like I had a lady, what was it? It must have been about 3 months ago. And she was starting some charter here in Houston with witches. And she asked if I would be interested. And I was like, it might be cool to kind of fellowship with people, go break bread and have coffee and have good conversations. And I was like, yeah, I could be interested. And she was like, well, the buy-in is $5,000. And I was like, oh, just to come have, tea cakes and tea to talk? I have to pay $5,000? And she was like, yeah, because the knowledge, somebody may give you a working or something during the thing. And I was like, that would be a class.
Yeah.
Right.
But she wanted, for me to even sit at the table. She wanted $5,000. And I'm like, I don't know you. How do I even know that the knowledge that you're saying at this table is worth me paying $5,000? Are we even using premium tea? You know what I'm saying? Are the tea cakes going to be gourmet? I mean, $5,000. And I have an issue with practitioners that do that, but they don't tell you what you're paying for. They don't break down the cost. It's just like, give me money.
I feel that way with a lot of people who are like, okay, if you want to take my my mentorship program, what is it? Like like the mentorship. It's lasting 12 months or like might last 6 months. They don't ever tell you what you get in there, like they're like mentorship program, $24,000. And I'm just like, that's $2,000 a month. What comes with that? Do I get all the supplies paid for?
Should not know.
Shit, $2,000 a month, you can get a whole house.
Yeah, but
shit,
there are
people $2,000 you can fly to for $2,000 you can fly to Africa or Europe and actually be taught by somebody who actually has the lineage to pass that type of knowledge down. Why would I give somebody $24,000 that's born in America? I don't know your skill set and we don't have a curriculum.
It's true, but people pay it.
No,
because it's about a name and its popularity and things like that, So people, what a lot of people do when we talk about false practitioners is they build up that base, and it's word of mouth, right? We all go by word of mouth for the most part, word of mouth, and soon somebody's booming, and their value for a mentorship is $24,000 a year, and people pay it.
Well, I mean, and we've seen this, like you say, 2019, 2020, 2021. We've seen people that had hundreds of God kids that weren't even initiated or in the position, and they made money off of all these people. And you wonder there's no research, there's no due diligence. Now, I will say I was blindsided by a few.
Yeah.
I was really blindsided by a few people because they came on our shows. They talked. Some of them I've even taken their classes, and then I come back and I'm like, are you kidding me? This person never even worked with this spirit. They never even, went through any of the ceremonies to be, connected to the classes that they're teaching or whatever. And,
well, you think about it, that class that you and I went to shortly after we met in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically this person just did some work and really didn't tell us anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the class was initially, it was for the money, and their name pulled the people in.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people didn't show up either.
Well, and that's true too. That's true too. But I think too, a lot of people bank on, like Shishi said, their name, their popularity, because there are a lot of people that can pull in a big crowd. That we see them online, we see them at events, we see them, writing books, and we just assume that because they're publicly, displaying this stuff that they are on point. And I was blindsided by a few people that I was like, no, there's no freaking way. And then when everything came out, I was like, damn, there's no way you could have told me that they weren't the real deal.
I know for the people who were the godchildren, none of those people that were outed, I'd be pissed.
Well, a lot of them don't even want to acknowledge it, because some of them, like we had one person that had over 70 god kids that this person had initiated, but what did she initiate them in? Because she had no initiation, none. So she literally went through some type of ceremony that probably was bullshit, because you didn't have a real ceremony. So how would you know how? And some of these god kids were like, I'm still her god kid. I'm still her person because I've been with her 5-6 years. How are you a god kid to somebody that has no lineage? That's the whole thing with any type of practice. What are you connected to? Whether you're solitary, like you said, you have to do your due diligence with these deities and spirits to know how to do the work.
Yeah.
But if there's no lineage, you're not connected to anything. You literally gave somebody your money, they threw a false title at you, and then you're going on. And some people are cool with that. They'll call themselves a Mambo, a Tata, or Yaya, or whatever for
priestess, whatever,
and they'll get God kids too.
But like Shishi, if she wanted to start her own eclectic coven, she could, even though she doesn't have lineage. And the only thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing is let it be known.
Oh yeah,
that there's no lineage included, because sometimes, and this is my own personal opinion, I don't feel like a title is always all that. Sometimes you want to get in, you want to learn the history, you want to learn the magic, you want to learn all this stuff, and you don't really give a shit about the title.
Well, it's a word. You're right.
People do need to be honest, because a person is only as good as their word. And if they lie to you from the get-go, they're no good.
But a lot of people who have covens don't always have lineage. It's not like
right. But what I'm saying is say, hey, we're an eclectic.
Yeah.
Don't say, oh, I'm in what is it? Silver Ravens, Clan of the Black Rose, or whatever.
From the Appalachian Mountains, Supreme, or whatever.
Oh, it's Black Forest. Don't say your lineage. Yeah. Not.
But there are witches that have lineage. They may not present themselves. Shishi comes from a lineage. She does come from a lineage.
But my family stopped practicing how long ago?
Yeah, but the blood is still the blood. Lynna is connected to a root worker, conjure worker. She has the lineage, But I think, are there a lot of people that like you say, that lineage will evolve? What your practice to you is going to become what you want it to be. And she's right. Be honest about what the practice is and let people decide if that's what they want.
We can have a blood lineage, but if we want to teach people and pass on a lineage, then we have to start our own tradition.
Right.
And so, but we have to be honest. Don't claim I'm under Raymond Buckland, or somebody else when we're not.
Well, we had a male practitioner that did that. What was it? Was it a couple of years ago? We all know him. And then the godfather that he claimed was his godfather came up and said, I don't even know this person.
Mm-hmm.
He's come in and bought products here, but I don't know him. I've never taught him. He's never taken classes with me. I've never done any ceremonies. And it was like, what? Because this person talked about his godfather for a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole nother thing too. If you are dealing with anywhere across the board where it comes to hoodoo or conjure or witchcraft or ATR, if the person cannot speak on mentors that they have learned from, because we all, even if you're eclectic, I was solitary way before I went into ATRs, but there were people
we learned from.
There were people that actually I took the time to go and spend time with and break bread with, and they taught me certain things, and some of them are not mainstream. Some of them don't even have social media, and I'll always be grateful for the things that they taught me. Now, a lot of you hear me talk about Mama Star. I met Mama Star through Lynna. And then I started studying with Mama Star. And so she became a mentor. I don't throw her name out there because I don't like using just, throwing people's names out. But there are some mentors that definitely some of y'all will know, and there's some that some of y'all will never hear from. But if a person doesn't have a foundation or a basis of somebody that can at least collaborate that, they studied with me. Yeah. And you shouldn't have to prove that, but I think spirituality is $1 billion business now, which means any Tom, Dick, or Harry can literally put a coin on their forehead, wrap their head up, put on some spa music, and be up there, and people are going to pay money. They are. I've seen it. I've seen people out there that do some I don't want to say stupid stuff, but it was like, okay, are you serious, or is this just kind of like a play? And for some people, it's for play. It's for fun. They just want to make money. Mm-hmm. Just like even with these scammers.
Yeah, the ones that come in. Listen, Linda, listen.
I was drawn to you.
Yeah. We ain't got time to be drawn to nobody. We have appointment books. So,
And that's red flags too. A true worker will not solicit.
Now, we will have dreams sometimes about, close friends and family, and we'll go and tell that person, hey, I had a dream. What was that one dream? I had that ridiculous dream about you, Tonya, and I asked you the next day, I said, do you need to shave your armpits? And it was so weird. But if we have a dream or a message like that, we're going to go and just tell that person. We're not going to solicit money. Oh, hey, Tonya, I had a dream about you last night. You want to know what it was about? Give me $50. No.
Yeah. Well, true workers, especially in the community, don't. They don't. You have to find them. You have, like Mama Star has a privacy fence around her house. You can't even pull up to her house and be like, look, come, let me come in or whatever. You can't. You have to. She has to know you're coming. And she will not solicit. She won't tell you, oh, give me this money. I got a message. A lot of those old root workers are, in the backwoods and stuff like that. You got to find them.
Yeah. I know recently I had this lady, she requested to follow me. And I was like, yeah, you can follow me, whatever. And then she's like, I have a message for you. Your ancestors reached out to me for me to reach out to you. And I was like, well, which ancestors? Because all my ancestors are here talking to me right now. They didn't say anything. What is it, a new ancestor I don't know about? I was like, because if it is, you need to let my other ancestors that are here know so that they can let me know. And she was like, she never responded.
Of course.
And I'm really curious. I have an idea. I already know the answer, but let's put it out here for the people. Plus, that happened to my daughter Taylor too, and I was like, "Girl, if your ancestors have a message for you, they're gonna tell you themselves." But can you honestly? And that's another topic that people are voting on in polls. But I believe personally that I only talk to my ancestors. I don't talk to other people's ancestors. Other people's ancestors don't talk to me.
I talk to people's ancestors. They talk to me. I know, like, my friend, who's like my sister, her ancestors walk in my house and they'll sit on my bed. I see Nika's ancestors often. Like, so when you do mediumship, you see them. They talk to you.
Okay, I don't do mediumship.
Oh.
So.
Well, and I think honestly, as even a diviner, the last couple of years, even when I've had readings from mediums, like my godfather, I have other people's ancestors that want to walk with me. Like my ex-husband, his grandfather wanted to be on my ancestor altar. Some people that I've come across as friends, they've asked to be on my ancestor altar. So I think when you're reading, honestly, when you're pulling down spirit, you are talking to other people's ancestors, because there's just some things that my spirits don't connect with, that their spirits have to come through and speak on.
Okay. But this soliciting thing, that's not real.
No, I mean, to be honest, for a lot of people, I don't think your ancestors would just willy-nilly give your business out.
Right.
No.
To anybody. I think, and I tell people that, block being able to let everybody read you. But then when you go from 15 to 20 readers, and you're bouncing back and forth, your energy is scattered anyway, to me. It's scattered. And you have a lot of spiritual involvement in it because you're attaching to a lot of different people. A lot of different energies are coming into you. So I think you have to I tell people, it's cool to stick with a couple of readers that you're comfortable with. But when you really put yourself out there and open yourself, you're going to put yourself or leave yourself open to be scammed, to be, used, because people talk. A lot of people don't realize some of us read the same people. Now the ethics is on it that we don't discuss the other person's reading. I don't want to know what Nika is doing with you because it's going to bias my reading. Right. Now, for some, you have people that follow other people on Facebook. They read their pages. Some of these scammers, that's how they get information. You know, I broke up with David today because he didn't come home last night. And then all of a sudden they're in your inbox. The great master told me you're having relationship problems. Come to me and let me do this relationship work. How did they find out the information? A lot of readers used to do that. When I first started, they would go to people's IG or Facebook and basically look at their story and then get enough information to make this person believe they were psychic. People that are desperate will believe anything.
Yeah.
People that have money problems, they have relationship problems, and somebody tells you that they can, help you with that, because your spirit sent them. A lot of us get caught up in that. A lot of us that, if we, even before I was a reader, when I was going through my divorce and this lady was like, oh, you're having really bad relationship problems. And I was like, how did she know that? How did she know that? And then, of course, it was like, well, send me $300 and I'll bring your man back to you. I didn't want the motherfucker back. I wanted him to be gone. So I was like, okay, I know my spirits didn't tell you to bring him back because they didn't like him.
They could also, money problems and relationship problems are so prominent that if you hit 10 people, how many out of them 10 people are going to have a relationship problem?
Probably generalized readings.
Probably like 7.
Yeah. Or money problems. Who doesn't have money problems or relationship problems at some point?
Or if you're like, are you looking for real love? I know your soulmate and I can bring them to you quicker. And of course, everybody's like, well, yeah, I want that.
Yeah. I think the thing about it is the first red flag is if they ask for money.
Yeah.
Well, solicit. Let's just say if they even reach out to you. And then the next thing is if they reach out for money. And then 2, if they come in with this outrageous, like I've seen people that will go to Africa and, fall in the mud and rub themselves with mud and put a couple of feathers on their head and then come back to the United States and be like, I was initiated. They do the same thing in Haiti. And here's the thing. These people, they want the money. They want the money. It's clear and simple. Even some really great practitioners, they want the money because they need the money. When you deal with certain countries where the income is low and they look at Americans, flaunting, their wealth, they want a piece of that. But you have some people that are they want the shortcut. They don't want to sacrifice. They don't want to go through the classes. They don't want to go through the trials and tribulations of their spiritual opening. They don't want to go through the sacrifices of having to, maybe put yourself in a pit of hot rock for a week, or walk on glass for this initiation or whatever the next rite is. So they want to buy the title. They want to buy the spirituality, and then they want to flaunt it. We see it on IG. There's a ton of people that have spiritual pages that I know these people. They are fake as fuck. They're no better connected to spirit than shit. I'm a dog. It really is. It's just basic. They change their spirituality monthly, and it should be a red flag too. Anybody who is not committed to what they're trying to sell you. Today I'm this, tomorrow I'm that, the next day, I might be a fairy flying through the sky on the aisle. Whatever it is, you got to look at how people switch things up. We see it a lot.
But then you also have to look at if they're scared all the time of what they do too. Like I know when I was first starting out, and I think you and I talked about it. There was a woman, she was promoting herself, and all of a sudden it was a week later, she's like, I'm going back to the church, back to Christ. And we were like, okay, wait, what just happened?
Because somebody got that ass.
No, she had conjured something up that she couldn't put back.
That's what I'm saying. Something got that ass, and she got scared.
Like, and I mean, it took me a moment. I was like, so you just ditched it just like that. And I think that's another sign, like, right, if somebody's so willing to quickly ditch what it is that they said they were all about.
They don't have it. They don't have that fake. Well, they were faking the funk, and then it got real because spirit really came down and it was like, yeah, they're gonna fuck you up, or either they fucked with the wrong person, and the person sent the spirit there to get them right. Now, Laverne is saying some people also claim they can't hear spiritually, but will feed off of you. That is a whole nother thing. When people read you, when you open your energy to people, some of you are very, very powerful. Some of you are a booster, is what I call it. This is, you have incubus and succubus, and it's not just sexual. Sometimes it's energies that feed off of what you have, your power, your bloodline, what your knowledge is. How many times have we had people that come in the inbox and it's like, oh, I broke up with this person, can you kind of give me some insight into what you would do and how you would work this situation? What they're basically asking for is a working, but they don't want to pay for it. And I've had people that I've read for that I become friends with, and some that have become really false friends where it's like every other week they're like, oh, can you tell me what the offering would be for this? Or can you tell me what candle to light for this or what month? And I was like, so you want to take a class with me? No. I want your knowledge. I want to pick your brain so I can do this work.
I don't want to pay for the information.
But I don't want to pay for the information. And I'm like, no, because I had to pay somebody for it. I had to sacrifice for it. So
I just spent hours studying. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have people that will play you on that. And the moment that you stop playing into that, they disappear. And then have the nerve to go give another reader the props. Oh, my life is good now because I'm getting a reading from so-and-so. No, the hell fucking no, it's not. Your life is good because of the 3 years you was in my inbox and I was telling your ass what to do. But you have to be careful with putting yourself out there like that, because if you do, people they're gonna feed off of you. If you're too eager to share, they're gonna feed off of you.
I was gonna say what Cinder Rose wrote. Doreen Virtue did that.
Oh, she did it so bad. I have never that right there pissed me off to like the nth degree, all the way down to
she made millions off of people. Millions.
And then married a Christian guy, and then she was like, angels, working with the angels is bad, doing yoga is bad, meditation is bad. I was like, okay, first off, even Christ meditated. So seriously, what are you following?
Girl, that Christian dick knocked her in the head and she couldn't see straight.
It must have done something. It must have been good, because I would not have lost my no. He would have.
But I hear now that she's opening back up to her spirituality, so she must be having problems in her marriage.
But
she's opening up
Christian based anyway. A lot of it.
And a lot of her cards, even if I have them, like the oracle cards, were definitely more fluffy fluff. So like I didn't get a lot of Doreen Virtue decks because they were fluffy fluff.
Well, she worked a lot with the angels. So she already had so-called Christian base to me, because a lot of her cards were angel decks. Now, divination is what she started talking about, was the demonic issue with it. She was like, oh, the cards were beautiful. I did it for the angels and God inspired me. But the way that the cards were used, she said, was demonic, and she took accountability for that. Now, that's one of the people I say, people that flip-flop. If they're not committed to what their purpose is or what their path is, then, how can they lead you? Why would you even buy their products? I don't want somebody that's, this week they're this, next week they're that, the other week, some people get initiated or they join 50 million groups. 50 million groups. It's almost like, what is it? The jack of all trade and master of none. They're still looking for their
sometimes better than one who can master one.
I agree. I'm always saying you should grow. You should open yourself up. But if you're not committed to your studies, if you're picking up a practice or a tradition, and you put maybe 40% into researching and learning, and then you jump to another practice, you're selling yourself short. And then two, what are you teaching people? You have to be committed. With my God kids, I give them works, and you got to do the work. You got to do the work. If you don't know how to do the work, if you don't get comfortable doing the work, how are things going to change for you? And how are you going to do the work for other people?
Right.
So, you have to be focused and committed on something. You have to. And if you're going to move forward spiritually.
My thing is, like, with a lot of people, like a lot of, like, talk about fake practitioners, if you ask them would they do that spell on themselves, they'd be like, no. Like, if you wouldn't do the spell for yourself or on yourself, then
yeah. I don't want to share stuff with people that I haven't tried. That's just me personally. I don't want to give you, because I can't walk you through it if it goes wrong. So if I did it and say the first 2 times it went wrong and then the third time it went right, when you're learning it and it messes up or it goes wrong on you, then I could be like, okay, let's try it this way. Let's do it differently. I'm not ever going to try to teach somebody something I don't know how to do, because I think at that point you're wasting your time and your energy, and theirs too. But there's a lot of people that do it for money. They don't know what the hell they're doing, but they will take money for it.
The workers should be doing divination to see if they should be doing the work to begin with. But as a person, you need to be doing your own divination to see if that worker is worth her shit anyway.
Yeah, and too, it's nothing wrong with asking for pictures or proof that the work is done. I know a few workers, and I know this personally because I've seen it. And I'm not going to say any names because they're not doing really well right now anyway. But I remember they took some work. The person sent them personal concerns, and they put it in the corner. And it stayed in the corner for a whole year. The work was never done, but the person paid for the work. And this was somebody that had status. This is somebody that's well known. So it's like, why would you take the person's money, take their personal concerns, and just sit it up there? And they just kind of were like, they shrugged it off. Like, it's none of your business. But that's unethical.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do the work, then don't take the work. Don't say you're going to do the work.
Even on my monthly burns, you post pictures. How's it doing? Things like that.
Yeah. I had some people that even asked me, they were like, I know you didn't post anything for the lamp burn at the beginning. Can you send me a picture? Because I want to know that you actually lit the lamps, and it will give me something to focus on and pray on. I have no problem with that. You should be able to stand by the work that you do. And that's a whole nother thing. If a person cannot show you the work, if they can't show you the outcome of the work, it's almost like, people have to guess, like, okay, was the candle clear? Did the wax burn a certain way? Nobody should have to go through all that. If you have a reputable worker, you should have a working relationship with them. Let me see.
I was looking at the comments too.
Day too. That's what I do with my teas. I test them first. Let a few people test them to see how they react, and then fix it. Or if it's good, then release the product. Yeah, because I think you need to do that.
Yeah, your few people are like people that are close to you. Not just,
that will tell you the truth.
Not just randos.
Yeah. Hey, Jesse. I hope you're feeling better, babe. I think
something on people.
I think honestly, I think I've only done a working, like one of the offering workings. I think I've only done it with Tonya. I think that's the only time I let anyone do any working for me, like the group working, I think. Because I'm just like, no. Because I feel like once you say, okay, you can do a working for me, then your energy automatically goes to that working, and then you're tethered to that person who's doing the working. And so if you piss that person off, they're like, oh, well, this person did my lamp ritual, and they could just turn it back around. And I'm sensitive like that, I don't.
It's true. I mean, I saw a woman, and Lynna knows her. She did a love working for somebody else, not you, Lynna. Even though, I think you did get work with her. But anyway, she was messaging me, and she was doing a love working, and she was in the most horrible headspace. The most horrible headspace. She had a relationship that was just toxic as fuck. She was confused. The guy was confused. And I told her, I said, the energy that you're about to put in this person's work is going to be very chaotic, and it's not going to be fruitful, and you're going to cause problems with their relationship, because she was just all over the place. And she was like, no, I'm going to do the work anyway. I'm good. And the work was fucked up. The work was fucked up. And she messaged me back and told me about the lady. She goes, oh, I think the lady's mad at me. Yeah, because you fucked up her situation. And I don't even think it was the situation, Lynna, that you and her had discussed. It was a different one. So you have to understand, too, if a person is tired, if they're angry, if they're going through some things, and you can see this by their exchange with you. If I'm talking to you as a worker and I'm irritated, I'm short, I don't want to take the time to answer your questions. I've just gone through a bad breakup. I'm on my period or on my cycle and I'm just got a nasty attitude. Don't fucking give me no money. Don't give me no money. Don't do any work with me. Hit me up a month later, go find somebody else, because we sometimes see the red flags.
Yeah.
And we
we all do have our days.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are cranky days. So but as an ethical worker, we should say, hey, look, I'm just not feeling it right now. Can I talk to you later?
Yeah, well, like Lisa say, Lisa's like, I tell my clients I'm taking off so I can get me together. And that's true. There are days when I read that I'm like, damn it, I feel tired. No, I'm not going to go live on Friday. I don't have the energy. I'm not going to put into, because I don't have clarity. I know me. When I'm tired, when I'm distracted, even yesterday with the mediumship reads, 30 minutes into it, we lost the bunny. And I was like, oh my God, where is the goddamn bunny? Did it go outside? And I was thinking my sister's going to kill me. My niece is going to be heartbroken. So I was stressing and I had to kind of shut it down and focus on the readings, because my energy was being pulled. So I did. I focused on the readings. And as soon as we got off, pulled my cards that said what was lost would be found. Shishi was like, the bunny's in the couch. He's okay, or whatever. The bunny was in the couch and he was okay. But it was just, I had to separate the energy, because these people had paid for a service. They needed all my energy to be right. So
you better be glad you found that bunny, though. They had that bunny for a long time.
Girl. I told you the bunny was in the house. The bunnies don't just run out the house for no reason. They're not like cats.
Well, thank God, because I was already looking for new bunnies when I was like, I'll buy you 2 if you want to. But he probably still knew he back in the couch. He went back in there again. So I had to rip the whole bottom of the couch off to get the bunny.
I was in her room when I was playing your message. You're like, the bunny was under the couch. Oh my. My sister was like, what is going on?
So Shishi, I owe you big sloppy wet kisses.
So the bunny's under the couch, dude. It's fine.
Why do animals hide in the couch? Because they have these little compartments and they're dark. The cats like to go under there too, and that was the fear of, oh my God, is the cat under the couch with the bunny under the couch? But it all works. But you can't be an effective worker if you're constantly stressed. Even for us, if I'm worried about money, I'm like Elisa. I'm like, okay, I got to take a step back, because work doesn't work for me when I'm desperate or I'm tired or I'm sick. I know that about myself. So I'm not going to take on something when I'm not 100%. Even with this burn started during Mercury retrograde. And I started preparing prior, because anything that you start working on prior to Mercury retrograde tends to kind of go really, really well for me. So I didn't wait for Mercury retrograde. I started the process of the lamps way before, because I knew that energy would work for me. So if you have a reputable worker, they tend to know when, they're up, when their energy is good, when their power is good. And that's what you need.
Yeah. And not only about being irritated too, but when yesterday I was doing the weekly forecast and some things came out that I'm really biased about. But you have to be honest, because even on the video, I'm like, I'm really biased about this. I can't answer it. I can't talk about it.
Transparency is important with anybody that you work with, whether you're a worker or you have a 9-to-5 job. Transparency is important. We want to deal with people that are honest and ethical. Unfortunately, not everybody is that way. Jesse, yeah, y'all can do a bath together. I mean, both of y'all can get in the shower together and do your bath.
Cousin says any worker should always prep ahead, cleanse, and etc. And that is so true. We talked about that last week when you don't cleanse and you don't prepare and how things can go crazy with just, workings and cleansings.
Yeah, there's a lot to doing workings. There's a lot of research even has to be done. There's a lot of pre-work that has to be done.
Yeah. And a reputable worker will actually talk to you about that. What you need to do, just like with the lamps, you need to take a spiritual cleanse prior to the lamp. You need to keep your prayers up and your manifestations prior to the lamp. I'm not going to just do the work and you not do your part. It's a work together. I'm combining my energy with your energy to give you the outcome that you want. So we have to communicate. And here's the thing too. To me, if you go to a worker and they don't tell you about, the divination prior to the work, or even cleansing yourself, how to cleanse yourself, how to keep your environment cleansed while the work is done, there may be certain things they need you to do, on your end. And if you're not willing to do it, don't waste your money. Don't waste your money on a worker. If you're not willing to do your part or the homework.
Yeah, that's like praying to God, saying, "Oh God, please, I need a job. I need a job. God, give me a job." And then you sit on your ass and never pass out a resume. You know, it don't work like that.
Let me see.
I have to say, like, as someone, like, for me, I rarely do workings for people. It's under dire circumstances that I will do a for someone. Usually I pass them off to someone else. A, because right now I'm not in my own space. But B, like, I mean, no disrespect, like, I rarely will do a love work for somebody. Rarely. Because I do not want you calling me every 30 minutes about, is it done?
Annoying? I'm sorry.
That part.
That's why love work is so expensive. I mean, I know people that the starting point for love work is like $1,500. And a lot of my mentors say don't go lower than that.
Because people they expect it to start the same day, right. like snapping your fingers, and it doesn't. It's a process. It takes time. And I'll tell you guys something. If the people watching, if you do get love work done, I mean, you can communicate, ask how it's going, see pictures, things like that. But this constant nitpicking is only going to irritate the worker. And then you're going to have an irritated worker doing your love work.
Mm-hmm. Well, then too, you have to have faith in the work, which means that you got to put it out there and then step back.
Exactly.
You have to have faith in the work. Your energy should be more concentrating on getting the outcome that you want instead of is he back? Is he back? Is he back? Is he back? He'll be back when you see his ass walk through the door. If you don't see his ass walk through the door, we still doing the work.
Yeah.
And then they're like up here, they watch the deeds. Yep.
I know you haven't watched it yet, but this week's reading, the forecast, was talking about just that. About how you say, "Oh, when is he going to call? When is he going to come back?" And then you're like, well, maybe it's not meant to be in this lifetime. I don't want his ass anyway. Well, you're kind of...
totally throws it out.
Yeah. You're telling the universe, I don't want him back. So what are you going to get?
Or if the person comes back, it's hot and cold behavior because you wanted them there, but then you didn't want them there and you're not sure what you wanted. Then they're like, oh, they're not obsessed with me. Well, you didn't even know like 30 seconds ago if you wanted that fucker.
Right.
Choose a battle.
There was a lot of self-sabotage that came up in the reading. A lot.
And that will affect the work if you're self-sabotaging, if you don't believe in it, and if you're not doing what you need to do on your end. And then we have to be honest too. There are workers that are more proficient in certain categories. There may be somebody who's really, really good with legal work, but their love work is horrible. Mm-hmm. There could be somebody that's really, really good with healing work. Who is it? I think it's Toya. Was it last year that she said she did some works where she had cured a couple of people of cancer? So you have some workers that are very gifted with specific types of work because that could be their purpose. Not saying that they can't do other things, but there's definitely some things that work for them. Money work always works for me. It really does.
Yeah, I do a lot of protection work.
Protection and money work are probably my main things. Now, court case work, I will do it. I've had some success, not as much as I would like. Love work, the African guy said that's going to be my niche. I don't see it, but that's what, he's like, you're blessed with love work. I think, to be honest, to me, for the work to be effective for me, I have to believe in it.
Yeah, see, I'm that
I
way.
have to believe in it.
I'm that way too with love work. It's like, I'm happy with me. I love me. I'm not looking for a partner. I'm not interested in having a partner. I have myself. I have my kids. I got lots of animals. I have Tonya. I have Shishi. What the hell do I need a man for? Why do I want drama?
You need a penis somewhere in there. I told Jazz I wasn't gonna say penis anymore, but you need a penis somewhere in there.
If I'm
For the
not
schlong.
really interested in the love department, then why would I be doing love work?
See, the thing is, I actually enjoy love work. That's the bad part, because as you guys know, I love love. Right?
You're the perfect person for love work because you love love.
I love love. And I'm like, oh, you want that person? And I'll divine on it. But then I'll be like, but do you really want that person? I'm like, okay, well, I have to listen to spirit in this case. That person might be crazy. But I love love. And I literally would do love work all day, all night. But I don't want people calling me every 30 seconds. I cannot answer you every 30 seconds. I cannot do it. And it would just mess up my day. And you're right. It irritates me. And then I'm just like, I'm going to throw this whole love work out because it just stressed me out so much. I just don't want to do it anymore. And I understand. I understand, like, when someone really loves someone, they're in that desperate space to have them.
It's like panic mode.
It's panic and survival mode at that point. And so a lot of the time I'm like, okay, well, let's get you out of panic and survival mode. I mean, honestly, I've been there, so I understand. Y'all know my dealios with it. But once you're out that mode, you're like, okay, cool. This is nothing but a thing. But once you're panicking, then you're coming from a place of lack, and you're telling the universe that you're not trusting, or your spirit guides, or anyone, that you're not trusting the work. And then they calling me every 30 seconds, and then I'm gonna get mad. It's just how I am.
Well, so. I think anytime that you come from a place of desperation is going to make the work a little bit difficult. And most people, when they come for work, they are desperate. They're trying to get their money up. They're trying to get their love life right. So you, as a worker, you have to balance the energy.
Yeah, because
to balance it.
It's like static. It's all over the place.
But sometimes, and I'm not talking about money. The money part, that I get. I enjoy money work too, and I get the desperation of money. That I completely get. Because in many cases they're about to be evicted, or they definitely, it's a dire situation.
Absolutely.
When I look at love, I understand that moment, and sometimes we're coming from a place of obsession and what it's like to not have that person. And so, do we really love that person?
True.
And I try to explain to a lot of people, I'm like, love is a choice every day. You wake up and you choose that person. It's not easy all the time. So if that person pisses you off and maybe perhaps like farts the wrong way, are you going to fall out of love with them? So you have to ask yourself these small questions to know if it's really love, or is it just obsession, or are you scared to be alone? And so when I divine for that, I divine on if they're just scared to be alone.
Mm-hmm. I think, and Lynna hit on it too, divination is really, really important. If a person takes on your work and they don't divine the work, how do they know how to do it properly? How do they know what spirits to communicate with, to work with? Because there's certain spirits that I have that won't do love work. So why would I divine and then use them to do the work? If they tell me that they don't want to do it, the work is not going to come through. So you have you have to connect with the right energies to do it. And all money is not good money. Even as workers, there's some things that I will not touch. I don't believe in killing babies, aborting babies and stuff like that. And I've had people come to me and go, well, my ex just went and got this girl pregnant, and now they're going to be together, and I want you to kill her baby to teach her a lesson. And I'm like, I am not the worker.
I've seen that. People want.
I am not the worker. And I've seen in groups, you know, you have 15, 20 people that will jump on that in a heartbeat and be like, I'll do it for free. Because they're biased. They've gone through something like that. So they want to make somebody hurt. But we got to be realistic. You know, if you are interceding on somebody else's behalf and you're in the wrong, you could really fuck yourself up. You can fuck your children up. You can fuck your grandbabies up. So that's why you divine. All money is not good money, and you shouldn't take on everything.
Now we have to be honest. We have to be honest and say that there are many workers who they're not false workers. They are real workers, and they have it set up so it doesn't matter what spirit says, so to say.
Yeah, they're going to do what they want to do.
They're going to do what they want to do, and they will get the job done. Now, they're going to always get you your results. I mean, I know one of them, she will get you your results. But after, whatever happens after that, that's what you requested. You're on your own. So the person ends up going batshit crazy and like throwing shit at you. Well, you wanted him or her, so, suck it up, buttercup.
I have to be able to sleep well at night with what I do. So if I don't feel comfortable with something, I'm not doing it. I don't care how much money you offer, because at the end of the day, I have to look at myself in the mirror. And you have people definitely out there that don't have a conscience. And if you're looking for them, you will find them. Mm-hmm. But, we also have to be really careful of going to workers in desperation, because the fake ones will read you like a scroll up and down. They know it, they feel it, they can smell it. And then it'll be, well, give me $200, give me $300 more. I need 200 more to finish this off. Oh, I got to go order these herbs. And it's because they know that you're desperate and you'll pay for anything. Anytime they really start pulling on your money, everything should be discussed at the beginning.
Yeah.
The herbs, everything, how long the work is going to be, how much it's going to cost. And, if there is an obstacle, how much am I going to, what could the total work be? But somebody that keeps coming to you because you're desperate, you got to be careful with it.
I have to say, I had a client, she came to me for many readings, and she wanted love work done. And she was very adamant about it. By the time she had gotten to me, I think she had spent $15,000 worth of money to have love work done. And when I read for her, I was like, look, I can't do this working for you. She's like, I need this. She was going to go crazy. I was like, this is what you need. I gave her what she needed, and it worked. Right. But then she did something else where it was broken. And she came to me. She's like, I will pay you $7,000 to get this person back. And I remember laying out the cards. The person had met somebody new. They were getting married. He was a dick anyway. And he was about to cheat on the girl that he was supposed to get married to. And I was like, you don't want the person. You don't. She's like, no, I want him to make it happen. I was like, I can't take your money. I just can't in good consciousness take your money. But looking back, I was like, I should have had less. No, I shouldn't have had less.
Well, here's the thing. She was going to pay the money to somebody else. So what I would have done was I would have worked him first before I worked a relationship working. I would have worked on him to try to correct some of his ways. There's some people you can't do anything to. There's some women, they don't care. They know that the person, and some men too. I've had men beg for women back too that weren't worth the shit, but they wanted them back. Mm-hmm. And you know it. You know it's going to be a toxic relationship. You know it's going to be bad. And if they really want the person back, I'm like, look, you're going to reconcile anyway. But if you want me to make it faster, I'll do it. But you're going to have a lesson to learn. You're going to get hurt again.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, yes, that money sounded nice, but long-term, mentally, it would not have been worth it for me.
Right.
So let's see. Cinda said, I have a question. Is it true that in witchcraft there are no rules, whereas in ATRs there are rites of passage and initiations that must be done before you can work with the deities? Okay, so here's the thing.
That at the very beginning, because I think, honestly, across all religions, whether it's witchcraft, Catholicism, Baptist, Jewish, ATRs, whatever it is, there's always foundational rules. Even with Shishi being eclectic, I'm certain, well, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty certain that there are foundational rules.
Well, there could be lines that she doesn't cross because of her ethics or her morals by themselves. but it may not be something that is laid out that she has to do.
Well, nobody really has to do anything.
I mean, for a lot of people that I have dealt with in my circle, they have their own foundational rules, and it depends on the deity that you're working with. It depends on the path that you're working with. Now, for me, I know I've often said, yes, there's free will, but in my practice, no one else in my world has free will but me. Which sounds like tough. If I want something, I'm gonna get what I want, period. But once again, it goes down to
we see you, Nika. Munchy cheese it.
Is it worth it? The effort and the energy that goes into it. Now, my rule is I don't mess with people just to mess with people. I don't. I know some people that I speak with, they like chaos magic, so they're gonna mess with you just to mess with you. I think every practice, because there's some, like when I listen to Tanya talk about her traditions, and then she's like, well, these are the rules. I could talk to another completely different person in voodoo, and that's not a rule for them, and I don't understand why, but some people break certain things. But I believe that everything has how do I say it? Everything has some form of a boundary. We have some form of something that we won't cross, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, to me, one of the biggest is don't bring up something that you can't put back. Don't do anything. Like for me, I won't do something to somebody that I would not really want done to me either. But
I think though, even like your solo, your solitaire, that you still have your rules.
But even, they are
like what are the ones that what's it called? I can't remember. Well, but yeah, that's but different covens and different practitioners, even though they're all different, they all have their own set of rules. I mean, nobody's just willy-nilly out there freeballing,
Well, I mean, you would think that people would, you have some that are out there. I mean, everybody has their deal breakers. They do. They, even if they don't post it out there, everybody has a line that they will not cross. Even the most evil, foul people, there are certain things that they know that they're not going to cross it because they don't want to fuck themselves up. Now you have some that may say, I don't care. But they're still putting their protections down. They're still doing their cleansing bath because they don't want the shit to come back on them. So if you didn't care, you wouldn't be doing all your protections and everything because you wouldn't be worried about it. Now with ATRs, when you look at it, there's levels. And I've never been in a coven, but I would assume too that there's levels to growth in a coven. But in ATRs, anybody can practice voodoo. There are certain spirits that you can work with where you don't have to be initiated with. The reason voodoo has reglement is because this is tradition that has been passed down for centuries. That there's certain ways that the spirits have to be saluted. There's certain ways, there's invocations that go to that particular spirit. A lot of people, because it's a closed practice and it's a tradition that's passed down, and people sacrifice to join it, you don't learn these invocations until you get to a certain level. Some people will not learn them until they become a priest or priestess, and it has nothing to do with trying to limit people. It's just that you won't know what to do with the power. Right. If you haven't been taught up until that point. So we're not talking about somebody just coming in. If you put in, it takes 7 years to make an Ugan or a Mambo. 7 years, which means that initiation is your beginning. The further you learn, the more invocations and things that come in. It's not to limit you. It's really to structure you because of the power of the spirits that you're working with. You can fuck yourself up. You can fuck other people up if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't understand the salutes or the tradition. Now, if I really just wanted to fuck somebody up, I could go to my spirits. I know which spirits that I could go to that would fuck them up. Do I really want to, though, is the question. And I'm like, Shishi, I don't initiate anything with anybody. I don't initiate any baneful work towards anybody. There's people that don't like me, talk about me and shit, and I eat my popcorn and laugh on Facebook and keep it moving because they mean nothing to me. So why would I even put energy into it?
Right.
But when it comes to protecting my family and, protecting my livelihood and my income, if you get in my way, I will fuck you up and not think 2 cents about it. I won't bat an eyelash because you got in my way. You tried to hurt me. And my thing is, if you are big and bold enough to try to hurt me, then all gloves come off. I might call Satan himself. I mean, it depends on how I feel that day.
Right. But I think there's always at least unspoken rules. Like you said, everybody has.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mess with kids. I will not mess with kids, period. I don't do anything with kids, like, as far as, like, causing harm to them. I won't do that. Like, if someone had come to me and asked me, oh, can you abort this person's baby because I'm mad? I think I would have been like, I'm going to hex that person because who the fuck is going to want to hurt a baby?
Right.
Something's wrong with you.
And Anthony is right, too. Sometimes spirits defend you without you lifting a finger. Some people are protected. They are protected. So it don't matter what hissy fit you having. If you can't hit them, you can't hit them. Now, a lot of practitioners don't understand that if you throw baneful work at somebody and they're protected, it could hit their kids.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be, I mean, that may not be your particular target, but it's happened to me where people have thrown at me and it's hit my kids. And I'm like, oh, I left that door open. Now I got to go back in and ward up and protect them a little bit more. But, that's why we take time to study and know the work. And understand the spirits that we work with. There are some spirits out there that don't care.
Yeah.
They really don't. They'll help you to kill somebody because, that's what they do. That's what they enjoy.
I'm still trying to remember, like, the word of the spirit it's spirit that Marcus was talking about when he said, yeah, they'll come and get the job done because you call them from hell. But then when you die, you have to replace them in hell.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I'm like, I'm not, no. I'm not good. I'm not about to be roasty for you.
Yeah. And I mean,
but honestly, I think we all have our own foundational rules. What somebody will do, I won't do, just because it just doesn't sit well with me. I know I haven't really joined a coven because I didn't want to be told the way I should practice. And I didn't want other people's rules being placed on me. I'm like, Nika, I don't like rules, but I go according to my own moral and ethics. And
you have your own
for the most part, they're pretty good. I don't mess with old people. I don't mess with babies. I don't start anything.
You have your deal breakers. I
have my boundaries.
And let me clarify, in voodoo, you don't have rules that are saying how you have to practice when you do work for other people. Reglement and voodoo is how to take care of your spirits because they are the ones that are going to help you do the work. Help you, or if they don't want to do the work, they won't do the work. But you literally, that's why you have people that will pay for people in Haiti to fuck people up, because it's not so much that the spirits won't do the work. They will do the work if they choose to take it on. But you have to learn how to take care of that spirit to get the best out of that spirit. If you don't take care of that spirit, then it might come back and eat your ass up. So you even though it seems that ATRs are very structured, you definitely have free reign on how you want to use the work. You do. But you have to know how to take care of the spirits. If you can't take care of the spirits, you're leaving yourself wide open.
Well, I think that's across the board too.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of group you're in. If you're
in a coven, you have to know how to treat your spirits right. If you're working with the fairies, then you need to know how to treat them right. What do they like? What are their days? What is the time and the hour that you connect with them?
What do they look like? That's really important too.
Yeah. So a lot of people just think, oh, I'm just going to get out here and fuck people up. And a lot of workers will take on the work, but you're interceding. If you're not sure about the work, it was just like even that time Rachel called me with that damn demon on the phone. And she was trying to have a conversation with me and tell me about the demon and how the demon was sitting across the table from her. I don't want to hear that shit. I didn't summon the demon. I don't want the demon to even have access to me through my phone. I hung the phone up.
Why do you sell it outside?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I don't even need to hear this conversation. I laid the phone.
She was trying to have a three-way with me and the demon because she wanted me to talk to the demon. Why? I need to talk to the demon. I didn't summon his ass. The person who summoned him needs to talk with him. That really, it felt unholy in my whole spirit. I remember my head started tingling and I felt like he was trying to attach, and I was like, I hung the phone up. Fuck you and the demon. I ain't a part of it. I'm not a part of this.
I know you got mad at me too.
Yeah, I was like, Lynna, because Lynna initiated the phone call, and then next thing I know, Lynna gets off the call, and it's me, Rachel, and the fucking demon. That's not what I signed up for.
Lynna was
I don't play with demonic energy at all. No, I didn't call you. I don't have nothing to say to you. You need to go and deal with whoever you're dealing with. Eat her ass up. She called you or summoned you, and she didn't know what to do. So I'm not.
That's prime example of
something I don't understand.
That's prime example of passing the buck. Here, you do it.
I would be so mad at Lynna. I would be so mad. Like,
I was hot. I was like, "How you gonna call me and then put me on hold?" And Lynna was like, "Well, I'm at work." Shit. Yeah. And you know that woman still send me friend requests every month.
I blocked her.
Let me tell y'all, this is how serious it got. We was talking, and the woman has a very soft voice. Her voice.
She sounds very kind.
She sounds very kind. Her voice dropped about 5 octaves and went to a bass where it wasn't. I knew I wasn't talking to her anymore. It was like, "Hey, how you doing? Fuck you and her. I'm out. I'm out." So yeah.
Oh.
And she still reach out. She still reach out to me, and I don't know if it's her or it or what. I want no parts of it. We have to be honest about the shit that we bring into our lives when we intercede and do work. We have to be honest. Not every work is good work. Not every money is good money. And you have to divine so that you can know stuff like this. People need to take spiritual cleanse before you do work. You need to make sure that you're getting rid of any attachments that may block the work. Like right now, I have a reversal going on my altar with the lamps. The reversal is black, and it's because I knew people were going to throw at the work. I knew that they were coming. So I had already set everything up so that the energy would be caught, you know, with the vines, with the witch's burr and everything. I put a lot of, fail safes in, but you have to understand what you're dealing with. And that's why you divine. That's why workers should divine.
Yeah. So we're coming up on an hour and 15 minutes. You guys, are y'all promoting anything? Are y'all doing anything? Who wants, actually all three of us, who wants to go first? I'll go second, but who wants to go first?
To what?
Shit.
What you got going on, Shishi? What are you wanting to promote? Yeah, go ahead.
Right now I'm not promoting anything. I'm
yourself.
Right now I'm not promoting anything. I still have to post my classes on the Collegium for February.
So you all need to go follow the Collegium.
You need to go
promote it.
Thank you. You need to follow the Collegium, and then just bringing back like updated services, changing my services, and offering coaching again come mid-February, and that's it.
Okay.
Hold on real quick. Catalina wants to know if someone did the work for someone else, will the reversal hit the caster too? Yeah, because the caster puts their energy. So if you're reversing and somebody paid, like I've had people that have paid other people to do the work because they don't want to be hit. But when I send the work back, whoever cast the work and the person who originated the work, it will hit them both. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, that's why you should decide before you do work. Is it justified? Because are you willing to get hit?
To take the hit. Go ahead, Shishi. It depends on what.
Some of those practitioners already have decoys up. But then not only that, some of them can take that energy that's sent back and transmute it. So not all, yeah. Some people don't
Yeah.
mind. Go ahead and send it back. I'm gonna transmute that energy and then we're gonna change it into something else. So
Well,
some people are really good on working on that alchemy side.
when you get into reversals, you're in spiritual warfare. You are in spiritual warfare. At some point, if it does not fade out and the worker gets tired of working you have some workers that will keep spiritual warfare going on for years. And then you'll have some that are really strong that'll shut it down. That will shut it down. So that's why you need to know who you're interceding for. You know what the work is.
Okay, so Shishi, go ahead, promote yourself. Y'all need to make a little commercial so we can just play the little commercials. Shishi, go ahead. Collegium,
Well,
what
that's
else?
all I have going on. That's all I have going on right now is I'm just working on stuff for the Collegium, working on stuff for the Calico goddess because she is changing. So because I've changed. And yeah, that's what I have going on. I'm going to start teaching my manifestation classes come February. And I am looking at teaching another glamour class a little bit differently because glamour
That class
really
was
is about,
good. I liked
about
it. I really
controlling that
did.
energy.
I be in here doing my little power light thing and then sending it to my makeup and sending it to. I love that class. I did. The mediumship was really good too.
So that's what I'm focusing on. And with the glamour class, I'm definitely going to be focusing more on like being able to change your appearance multiple times. So the way you may look towards one person is going to be different than you look at towards a different person. Look like towards a different person. So
that sounds interesting.
that's what I'm going for. The chameleon.
I like that. Let me see.
Supernatural. What do you mean supernatural? I'm watching that again for the third time. Which part?
Is the final season on Netflix yet of Supernatural?
I don't know. I'm at the end of season 11. Because what happened with me was I watched it. And
Nika. No, I couldn't find the Oculus. In fact, he's supposed to be coming home today and finding it for me, and then I'll look it up so I can get my fitness on since he said I can have it.
Oh, okay. I thought y'all were talking about the TV show.
Jesse, you can share an ancestral altar, but what I've seen couples do is he put his stuff on one side, she puts her stuff on one side, and then you have your water and your other offerings and things that go into it. But yeah, you can for sure, especially if you're limited on space. Mm-hmm. So let's see. For me,
put the dick in the dirt. Wait, how do we put the dick in the dirt?
Girl,
someone out if they're trying to throw at you and you do a reversal, put their dick in the dirt.
See, Jazz can't talk about me talking about dick and penis because there'd be other people on here initiating the conversation, trying to drag me in. She said I'm always the one that starts the dick and penis talk, and it's not true. Who did it this time, Rob? There's been a couple of people that's talking about it.
Okay, so anyway, Tonya, go ahead.
Okay, so for me, of course, we got the lamp burn that's going on. If you did not get into the lamp burn, and you still want to get into it, you can send. It's burning really, really good and quick. So I'm re-oiling and everything today. Hey, Milo, for that. And then also I'll be sending out for those that were interested in the mentorship. I'll be sending out something next week to kind of give you a breakdown of what direction I'm going in. It was Elisa that was talking about the dickety dicks. Which makes sense. But let me see. Other than that, I think that's it for right now. Next week, next Friday, I think it'll be me.
Sorry, go ahead.
Next week, it'll be me and Jen for erotic reads, and then I'll be putting together. Sorry, Rob, I thought it was you. Oh Lord, I got. What is it? Next week? No, next month, February. I'll be putting together a class too. For the Collegium.
Oh, what about the mentorship?
How much is it going to cost? Yeah.
The mentorship, we're looking at 6 months, $600, 2 classes a month. So I'm going to go ahead and break it down and give y'all Milo, an outline of what we, like Shishi said, we're not letting you go in just blind. If you're interested in what the outline is going to be, that's what we're going to teach. And what I'll probably do is 6 months, take a little break, and then we'll pick up another 6 months. And Lynna had asked me about recording it. So for some that are not getting in on it this time, I may go ahead and do that. Damn it, my love. Come here, baby. You're knocking everything down.
Oh, he's so big.
Oh, girl, he know I hate
your cat. The cat that's your cat.
The cat that's my cat. He's my cat.
Yep.
When are these decks going to be ready? Nancy, I actually, it's crazy because I have three or four of them. So I went from 1 to 3, 4. So I printed some out and I should be getting them back in a couple of weeks. If they look the way I want them to look, then they'll be ready in February. So let's fingers crossed.
Are you going to, what about a Kickstarter? Have you thought about doing a Kickstarter?
I want to do a Kickstarter for a different deck, though. I'm looking for an artist. I had my eye on somebody and they kind of fell through, but I have a really special deck that I want somebody to draw it out for me.
Think about, what about Jamie? Jamie's good.
Jamie? Who's Jamie?
The one that makes
the Voyager? Yeah.
Oh.
It's Sawyer's Tarot.
I had to think, but Jamie got their own thing going on. I really want somebody that's...
She just finished hers. I got my deck. Didn't you watch it? Y'all, my thing I'm promoting, I'm just going to interrupt, is I'm trying to promote my YouTube channel. So go watch the video on Jamie Sawyer's new deck I just got yesterday. I also posted the weekly forecast yesterday. And I have a quota because I'm offering geomancy readings now. If you don't know what a geomancy reading is, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and watch this week's forecast because I did a geomancy reading for that. So, and y'all need to help me make my quota. Just
okay.
With the innocent face. Help me make the quota.
Right.
Catalina, email me, hotmagichands@gmail.com. Email me and let's talk because I have an artist and I don't know what happened. He was excited and then he wasn't.
But yeah, maybe. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you, Nika. Yeah, I did. Yeah, she saw my geomancy reading. Nika did.
And she gave me one too. Her geomancy readings are really, really good. So definitely.
They provide you ask a question and it's going to give you way more information. Way more. So all the links are in the description. And if you are watching on Facebook, you can watch on YouTube too. I don't mind.
All right, loves.
All right. So yeah, I guess we're gonna go now because honestly, I got things to do. Just are you staying
I'll show
warm?
you guys my new deck later. Huh? I'll show you guys my new deck, Vengeance of Witches, later then.
No, let me see it now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
I'm not rushing anybody off. I just wanted us all to get our promotions in before we forget about it and just sign off.
Well,
so,
sign off because I got to go take my phone on the other side and plug it up. It's gonna die.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and play my commercial and we'll leave.
All right. Y'all have a good day. Love y'all.
We'll see you next Sunday.
She's like, bye-bye, cat lady.
Right. All right, for real. Love you guys.
Aww.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Mademoiselle Lynna, and you can find me online at www.conjureknits.com. I would like to say thank you for viewing my video, and if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and click on the little bell so that you'll receive notifications of when I go live or upload new videos. I do try to stay pretty busy here on my channel. I do all 12 zodiac signs for the monthly tarot scopes. On Sundays, we have Conjure Crew with myself, Mambo Tonya, and the Black Bonnet Witch. On Mondays, I upload the weekly forecast. Every day, I do a card of the day reveal. On Wednesdays, we have the virtual book club. We are currently reading the Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind. It has been so much fun following Richard and Kaylin on their adventures, so you are definitely going to want to join us for that. I also pop on from time to time and do free readings, so make sure you get my notifications by clicking that little bell. Oh, and by the way, Did you know that you can get your monthly tarot scope up to 2 weeks before the general public? Oh yes, check out my Patreon for details. I will drop a link in the description box below. Alright, I feel that I have rambled on long enough. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get back to the video.